Once upon a time, there was a man who made a fan comic called Brawl in the Family.
And it was glorious.
Then he decided to go into video game making.
Really?
Yep.
Bitfinity?
Yeah, that stands for like Brawl in the Family Infinity. But yeah, that same
Oh,
guy,
my God.
Matthew Toronto, made Tadpole Treble Encore.
Yep, a recent re-release for the Nintendo Switch, hence the Encore in the subtitle.
Oh, what did he do?
Because because if I'm not mistaken, besides making that fan comic, apparently he also has a huge affinity for, music.
So what? Well, I guess that would explain some of the custom music stuff he did for the webcomic. What did he? You said Encore. What was this originally
Have
out
the
of?
name be Irio.
Irio?
Yeah,
Irio.
It's
Irio.
E-A...
So the idea is that it's Wario, but what if it was flipped the other direction?
R-I-O.
Yeah, basically, what if it was a W flipped sideways?
It's supposed. It's a character that he made for the comics.
Alrighty, just making sure, because I will admit, despite everything we say, I barely even read the comics. That's all hype shtick. I'm only just familiar with what he's done afterwards. I think he didn't he do the soundtrack for Nefarious?
I don't know if he did the entire soundtrack, but he definitely lent his hand on a few compositions.
Alright,
Okay.
and also just for the sake of things, I'm gonna turn
No
the volume down
worries.
because I can barely even hear myself think.
Sorry,
That's fair.
it's a rhythm game.
But anyway, welcome to Tadpole Pond, where all the frogs live.
And one frog is expecting.
Yep.
A lot.
You can do
it, child. Break out of that egg.
When I feel like it.
And
There you go.
and there's us. We
Uh,
are that tadpole in question.
Oh,
So the main
so that
gimmick
is-
behind Tadpole Trouble is that, well, you're pretty much swimming all along this here, path.
Yeah, but I forgot what it's called. It's I haven't
Sushi?
done. Yeah, it's. Hang on, it's been a while since
It is a musical term. I just can't remember that off the top of my head.
I'm gonna look it up.
But
Continue.
basically, while you're swimming along the path, you want to avoid all the notes, and at certain intervals, you want to use your flippin' tadpole tail to whack some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess it's a musical bar. I guess I don't know, but yeah. Regardless, I see. So it's not so much a rhythm game per se as it is it's definitely rhythm oriented, but it's more so a side scrolling, like just dodge the obstacles. Oh, I see here how this gets tricky though.
Oh yeah, no, because basically the entire controls for Tadpole Treble are grid based. So you want to follow along with the grid the best that you can, and well, alongside said grid, the game does encourage you to try and grab whatever sparklies, bubbles, and cash as you can.
Right. I saw cash and food. I assume food would be what would heal you.
Yeah, because you do have a health bar to worry
Oh, boy.
about.
Okay, good. I didn't close on you.
Oh no, we're still fine. But yeah, for now we're just going through the tides of a tutorial level here.
Okay.
And
So
since we were just born after all, we got to learn the ropes of being a tadpole.
right, a trouble one at that. So I guess I'll ask. I love how
Well, one
everything
that's
out-
about to get herself into trouble.
What?
You'll see.
Okay. Well, I do like the smoothness of the animation stuff happening like all around. You mentioned this was Encore. What was this originally on?
Steam,
Huh.
and just recently got re-released on Switch.
Oh,
Which
jeez.
considering what this guy made prior, that's gotta be a dream to have his stuff be put on a Nintendo system.
Oh,
Oh,
definitely.
definitely. Especially, yeah, no, and yeah, like you said, given his given his background, it's a good step up. There's like some Pixar music here.
Oh yeah,
It's
I'm
not
really
too
liking
shabby.
this so far.
But just as we're done, our lovable Batteneers, decided to swim a little too far from the home turf.
Baton or Baton, whatever it's pronouncing.
I think it's Baton.
Yeah, because music pun.
Uh-oh.
Burbs.
Don't mind us, Mr. Birdie. We're just getting our sea legs ready, and oh,
Oh.
and that's the end of Baton's career.
I mean,
Well, at least you got an A rank.
yeah, went out with style. No, okay, in all realness, I don't know if they actually eat tadpoles. It was just an accident. Let's just explain ourselves and be right on our way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. Like, the cutscenes are also in the comic, which, is fitting considering how Matthew got a start.
His roots.
Yep, it all proceeds even in video game form. But of course, as hard as she tried, she couldn't quite break out of that big lummox's gullet.
Let me out.
But she's trying her best.
Ah! One good smack was enough to have it spin around straight into the mountainous regions.
Whoa.
That's sure not going to lead to any trouble.
We'll have to wait and see.
So yeah, now that we're done with the tutorial level, we get sent all the way up here.
Oh, so that's I see what's happening here. That's an interesting way to format this world map. We have to try and work our way down the river flow all the way back to home.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I guess while we're still on this whole musical run, why don't we start and go to Trout? What is it?
Tributary. I think
Trout
it's
Tributary.
I think it's whenever a group of rivers connect, like 3 rivers at least.
I
But
believe so.
in any case, so how much of this game have you tried out so far, James?
I have beat the base game, and that's more or less all I can say about it. I wasn't too compelled to play much else of it afterwards.
That's fair. Are there like I noticed that there was a decent amount of stuff in the from the main menu. Like, are there like other like bonus modes and stuff to try?
Yeah. Actually, one thing that's worth mentioning is that the game does encourage you to collect a whole bunch of bubbles along your quest, because there's a character you'll meet up with who will tally up all the bubbles you collect and give you some neat prizes for reaching certain intervals.
Oh, okay. So that's what. Okay, so that that would be what the cash would get us.
Hello, fishy.
I think those would eat us.
I think they do hurt you, or they could just be a background prop or something. This game does definitely like to play around with gimmicks every now and again. Like here, you're dealing with a school of trout, or later on, you'll go through, as the game likes to verbalize it as, Thunder Creek, which is literally full of lightning. And obviously, you don't want to be in the water when lightning strikes.
I don't think that. Oh, so that's why you have to time it. That's why I have to use that jump ability.
Yeah,
the
that's
jump
actually
power.
one of the later levels in the game.
Oh. Is that a button you're pressing in order to hit these reeds?
Yes.
Okay.
You press any of the any of the face buttons is what lets you clap.
Okay, so the what, and then I guess so. We've seen the life bar. What is that treble charge ability up there?
Okay, I'll be real with you. I'm not entirely sure what that does, but I think what you're supposed to do is that you hold down your button and you do this little charge motion. Oh,
Thank you, Bear.
Uh-oh.
you're welcome.
And yeah, I'm gonna Google what that does. So far, Hyde, what do you think of this?
It is interesting. Like we mentioned before, I've been a fan of Brawl in the Family for a while now, and just a fan of Matthew's work in general. So it's I definitely have been meaning to try a Tadpole Treble for a while now. I might actually pick it up now that it's on the Switch. How much does it cost?
Roughly around $10.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'll
So
probably try to pick it up sometime this evening. But
and
yeah,
real quick,
it's
Just be warned though that Tadpole Treble does have a bit of a learning curve to it.
okay.
that's fair.
I was gonna say if you want to do at least another song or two, I learned what treble charge does.
Alrighty.
It basically gives you temporary immunity or invincibility to the notes, the black spiky balls,
Alrighty.
so you can touch them without taking damage.
That part of me wishes I actually utilized that more often. Anyway, welcome to the Turtle Pipes.
Uh-oh, I think he will eat us.
You most likely will. But yeah, just going back to Mr. Toronto, I've been like I mentioned, big fan of Brawl in the Family. Another project he's done that I'm pretty much a big fan of is that he and a couple of other people that he's worked with made a musical adaptation of the first Ace Attorney game called Turnabout Musical.
Really?
Nice.
And it's pretty amusing. I do like some of the songs that they have on board with it. There's one song during I think it's was it the third or fourth case where Edgeworth was accused of murder?
That was the fourth one, I think.
Okay,
There's
there's
had to be
there's
later one.
Yeah, there's a song on the fourth case where basically Larry testifying what he saw that day, and it's just one of the funniest tracks in the album.
I'll have to check that out. And so now, was that a project that he did everything for, or just
He did the voice for Nick in that and wrote a large chunk of the songs. He didn't do everything though. It was more of a community thing. He was just one of the bigger contributors to it.
Okay.
That's fair. Actually, I guess it should also go without saying, ladies and gentlemen, that I think there's at least 2 or 3 levels in this game that do break out into a literal song.
Oh, like with actual like vocals and everything.
Yes. And I mean, honestly, if we play far enough into this before we decide to stop for the session, I mean, I'll be real. Considering how short this game is, I could probably just do it as a commentary if I wanted to. But this is just something we're doing to, pass the time.
Yeah, we'll keep it on the back burner in case. But yeah, because I guess I am liking this, but I guess what would make this the presentation is definitely up there, but what would probably make it that I would probably rarely come back to this game later would be that it's more or less a generous poor turtle. It's more or less a generous auto scroller every level. Like that.
Challenge fly acquired.
If you fulfill certain conditions in every level, you will gain a challenge fly.
Huh.
I think they're pretty much just a little... Oh, the Chiptune Lagoon. Now, this, I don't remember if it was in the original release or not, but I think, well, just watch. It's kind of an odd level in and of itself.
We're going to the world of electro shrimp.
Ooh.
Or electroplankton.
I feel like this might have been an ad for the Switch port.
It's
Might have
possible.
been.
I'll have to look into like what were the big differences between these. Let me see.
I mean, one thing definitely worth mentioning is that they do go out of their way to change the art style more or less completely for the sake of this level.
Also,
I see them Mario Hills back there. You ain't too clever.
The hills have eyes. Always
Some people just can't hide their inspirations.
Woo.
So yeah, let me look up big differences between Tadpole, Treble,
And Encore.
and Encore. Let's see.
I feel like he probably has them listed on his website.
I'll check the official Switch listing page. Let's see. Oh, apparently there's a way you can unlock a developer commentary for each of these stages.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see.
Okay,
there is a feature. There are new unlockables, a new stage, which may be this, and that there could be and apparently there's even a. There's one of the extensive bonus modes is a composition mode, which lets you make your own. It has its own built-in music maker and stage builder as a result.
That's neato.
Oh. Try that charge, and then now you can ram through the notes.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah, so I guess I do want to ask, like, since you said you've beaten the base game, James, like, I know you said that it has a bit of a learning curve, but how would you say, like, the difficulty curve is in this game?
It can be a little tricky at times. I'll definitely say that much, because you see all these notes that I'm currently swimming through. Like,
Right, it's very narrow or very, like, precise.
yeah, and I mean, this game is definitely not one you want to be too reckless in.
Okay, but would you ever say that there were points where you felt like it would just kind of, like, spike out of nowhere, or would you say it was kind of like a gradual increase?
It more or less felt gradual. I would say the biggest case of that would probably be like at the very end of the game, where it literally does treat itself as sort of like an actual boss fight.
Gotcha.
If only because that's like the one time you actually have to play among the typical rules of a boss fight. Otherwise, you'll have to literally hear the song on loop.
I guess I want to ask, since I know he hasn't gotten a chance to talk about it himself, Logan. Logan, what would you say are your experiences with not even just this game, but just like the works of this man in general? Like, have you like read Brawl in the Family and whatnot?
Slam to none. No, it was mainly Brawl in the Family was my main exposure with the guy, and I read it. I read it in passing. It was Brawl in the Family or was Awkward Zombie. Like, I read the two, like, kind of around the same point in my life, and I am a little bit bummed that Brawl in the Family had to come to a close eventually, but I understand why he wanted to move on to projects like this. Like, I'm not, like, he doesn't. It doesn't.
Oh,
it's not
I do believe this is where we get our first, musical level, or excuse me, just song in general.
Let's see.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, that's definitely Matthew singing.
Oh, so he is just another Tadpole joining along.
Just for this level, anyway.
So yeah, we'll just leave that go because we have subtitles. So my main exposure was with the Brawl in the Family comics. I have not seen the Phoenix Wright musical yet though, so I'll have to give that a look see. But
Ouch.
But I mean, again, like this looks really cute. It looks very charmingly put together, and the presentation for each level has made them feel unique, even though it is the same mechanics more or less. Whack, nice.
I'm curious as to like if he ever does plan on making like any other games like after like his support for Tadpole Treble gets finished.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing more of this guy's stuff. I mean, even if I'm not the avid, like the biggest fan of his works. I mean, this is still, you can definitely tell there was some passion put into this project.
Yeah. I'll have to see who else who did he collab with on this, because I don't know if he did the full like engine design and everything either.
I think what he did was just like he wrote a large chunk of the music and did the art direction. I'm pretty sure he didn't do a lot of the programming. I mean, he might have for all I know, but I know he definitely, at the very least, did the music and art direction.
Oh yeah. Like, he definitely seems like the kind of guy that would be more involved in, like, the production values more so than anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
hello.
Oh! The hell was that thing? Yeah, I'll have to give a look-see and see if there are any other game. I will keep an eye out for any other games he works on.
No worries. Again, the only other thing I can immediately think of is his involvement with Nefarious, and that's pretty much it.
Which again, I know we did look at Nefarious, and Nefarious is still something where it's like, with a little more polish, I could strongly recommend that game to people, but I feel like there's still a little bit too much jank in it.
Yeah, no, that game works far better in concept than execution, and even then, the main developer has gone up, the main host of the project has gone up. I mean, after the game's release, he mostly sticks to just making it a comic right now.
I didn't know. Oh, so is the comic meant to be like a new adaptation or like a?
I think it's supposed to be a continuation of the game.
Okay.
I'm glad he found
Good.
I was just saying, I'm glad he found a way to continue it in some fashion after the game ended up not doing too good.
On a cliffhanger, yeah.
Yeah. Well, even then, I mean, if it means anything, from what I've heard, the comic, you don't even need to have any much experience with the game to really get into it.
Okay.
Well, I just mean like that I just mean like he didn't abandon it altogether. Is what I meant.
Oh yeah, no, like it definitely had its fans, and well, he did his best to follow it up. But anyway, so I think now's the point where we meet up with another bad soul.
Oh
Arr.
boy.
Okay.
But we were saved in the nick of time by this fellow fat fuck.
Jesus!
That's a big frog, all right.
Not only is a big froggo, but he's also the big froggo we can actually utilize our bubbles with.
Interesting.
Oh, so
yeah. So this guy here is he's the host of the Bullfrog Grove, and that's his name. So I'll just go ahead and take over. Rob.
Hey, man.
Thank you for distracting that snack for me.
Oh, okay, no problem, dude.
In return, I offer this piece of advice, Rob.
What's that?
Be sure to watch your back,
Oh.
or you may be eaten.
Okay, dude.
I see.
You would be most wise to remember this in the dangerous grotto you are currently headed into.
Okay.
Barracuda Caverns.
Alright, dude.
The beast that dwells there is an aggressive foe, but his eyes are quite sensitive to the light.
So we'll find a light, okay.
If you can find a way to brighten his day, you just might pull through.
Alright.
But since you are here, perhaps you would oblige to help me out. You see, I desire bubbles.
Bubbles? Bubbles. Sorry.
I know you may have some on you. I would recognize that sweet cherry scent anywhere.
Okay.
If you give me your bubbles, I'll give you some nice rewards.
So he's basically a shop.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what we
Not quite a shop, but you'll see what I mean. It is not mandatory,
Think of it as some sort of quest on the side. A side quest, if you will.
Okay.
Although I can make my own bubbles, they do not last long, and they certainly do not smell of cherries.
Devil damn it.
You,
So please keep a mental image of my pleading eyes in your tadpole brain as you collect these bubbles.
I was gonna say, you,
Well, bubbles and challenge
you
flies.
can't tell us what challenge flies are? Okay. I was gonna say,
Alright, so basically this guy hosts the Bubble Bank where we can, check out our current progress of bubbles, challenge flies and whatnot, or you can just, engage in some idle conversation with him. So, let's check out the Bubble Bank first.
Okay. Well,
Ooh.
Welcome to the Bubble Bank. I'll hang on to your bubbles in exchange for goodies accessible from the main menu.
the what?
Whoa! That... Oh, sweet mama! I picked the right horse to bet on, clearly. Keep up the good work.
Okay, well, we
So
unlocked a
I do-
music player.
You have
be
my
sure.
gratitude and my rewards. Enjoy them.
Okay.
Then we got the challenge flies.
I suppose you're wondering what challenge flies are.
What do they do?
They're quite rare indeed. Each area of this land only has one. And to capture them, you must perform certain feats to draw them out. For instance, one challenge fly may come out if you hit all the bamboo in an area. If you're having difficulty succeeding, do not neglect your treble charge meter. Once it has filled, simply hold your attack down to charge your tail.
Uh-huh.
You will temporarily enter Treble mode, which allows you to break through rocks without taking damage. In
Okay.
exchange for this enlightening suggestion, I expect a meager reward. Please bring any challenge flies you find to me. I'll be sure to give them a good home.
Well, we have one of them already, so...
You may have to
By
see-
the way, I have been charting when these creatures appear as well. I might even consider sharing my chart with you, if you bring me enough bubbles, of course.
Okay, so if we pan bubbles, we'll learn like what current like conditions are needed for each stage. Also, he should probably get
Yeah.
that looked at by a doctor somewhere.
Probably.
You say a rogue pelican kickstarted your adventure. I think about 1,000 dedicated folks kickstarted your adventure, in fact.
Thank you and good night.
Just a hunch. But if you see any of these folks, you may want to thank them. As for the pelican, though, feel free to give him a good what for.
The pelican didn't mean to do it though.
And with that, I think we're done here.
Go,
Okay.
little tadpole.
Yes, sir.
And with that little, fun little conversation we had with the big fat frog over there, I think that's a good enough time for us to call it a session.
I'll quickly ask, just for the sake of, just for what we got here going on, like, were we already like a third of the way through the game, judging from that mountain?
Yes, we were. Like I said, this game's really not that long at all.
Okay.
But I guess to make up for it, they do, encourage you to replay and get all the additional goodies like extra bubbles, their challenge flies or whatnot.
Mhm.
And not to mention, I think there's also some additional modes you can also unlock.
Oh yeah, like the developer commentary and stuff.
Right, so there's a decent amount in tucked in there, assuming you want to dedicate your time to it. So, on that note, folks, that's it for our look at on Tadpole Treble Encore for the Nintendo Switch.
Yep. Nope. Great stuff, and I'm very much looking forward to what the next project he will work on.
Mm-hmm.
Same here. But yeah, on that note, I am James May Extreme.
I am Lucky Jack, the Tadpole King.
And it is I, Irio.
Poor Irio.
Till next time, everybody. Wah!
Mustache.
Bye.